What is happening, sports fans? Jermaine and Matt from the DFS 5-pack rocking it solo. It is Saturday, October 2nd. Sad face over here. It's the last, MLB big slate of the year. Not even that big of a slate because it's cut in half with an early slate and a main slate. So, yeah, it sucks. Only playoff baseball from here on out. Playoff baseball is fun, though, and we're right in the full swing of things for NFL. So, baseball will be back, sooner than we know it as far as regular season goes. But till then, let's crush this last slate and let's crush some NFL going forward. That being said, let's dive in. I want to get this out fast and furious because me and DFS Patriot are making our GPP NFL Week 4 video at 2:30 Eastern. So I want to get this out. Alrighty, should be good to go. As far as pitching options go, I like Corbin Burns a lot. Milwaukee's not playing for anything, so I don't expect Burns to be pushed too hard here. But he's thrown over 100 pitches his last three. Sure, they want one final tune-up before the playoffs. He looks like the top option in all formats to me, especially with question marks all over the place. I don't know. It is a tough matchup against the Dodgers, no doubt about it, but he's just elite. He's by far the best pitcher on the slate. I always, will take good pitching against good hitting. I see that Giolito's getting a lot more love, and I get it. I mean, Giolito's also been good, throwing, more than enough pitches. Much better spot against the Tigers. Same concerns, the White Sox are locked into where they're at. So I don't feel like that much better about Giolito than I do Burns here. I think the matchup's better, but Burns is a better pitcher. I mean, there's a reason Burns is averaging, close to 7 DK points more per game. So I guess in cash games, Giolito, and tournaments, Burns is how I would look at it. Julio Yurius, another guy I like a lot. Kershaw was awful last night. Yurius not throwing a ton of pitches, but the Dodgers need wins, and he's their best arm right now. He's the best arm that's going to pitch for them tonight. So if he's going well, I expect, they keep him out there as long as the game's close. Allen at home against the Rockies, I think, is in play. He's, look at the schedule he's had to face. Aside from Texas, at home against the Dodgers, at Houston, at the Dodgers, Texas, like I said, the Padres, at Philly, at Colorado, Padres again, at San Francisco. That is a tough schedule. Now he's at home against the Rockies. Yeah, I like Gallen quite a bit here. I think he's definitely on my short list. Tristan McKenzie, no thanks, not at this price point. Don't really know what to expect from him here. I doubt the Indians push him. Chris Flexen, I mean, the Mariners are playing for their lives right now. I haven't been on Flexen much this year. I doubt that changes today. He's expensive. I like the other guys more. Ain't no way I'm paying $8,500 for Senzatella. Drew Smiley, kind of the same thing. I will say this about Senzatella. I think that he gets picked on probably more than he should, but there is no reason he should be this expensive. Drew Smiley and long relief, no thank you. Chris Bubich, not a bad look. Minnesota's going to get a bunch of love here. It gives you leverage there. He's not as cheap as I would like, but he's cheaper than the main guys, which is all that matters. Jordan Lyles. I don't think you're crazy to like Lyles here. I'm not afraid of the Indians. I don't think you're crazy to like the Indians either. Definitely one I can see going both ways. If he's pitching well, he'll have a full leash. If he's not pitching well, he'll probably get pulled early because he's not pitching well. Cookie Carrasco in Atlanta. Nah, no thanks. I don't know what the Atlanta lineup's going to look like. I'm sure it'll be closer to normal tonight, though. I just can't see the Mets stressing Carrasco here at all. No thanks to Rizzi. I mean, we saw Dakota Hudson pitch decent last night, so I don't think Lester's crazy, but he's not a guy I really want to go to. Jonathan Diaz pitched well last time out, worth noting. Don't really want to use him here, but the options are pretty limited once you get down here. These guys are not good, at all. So the teams that they're facing are getting a lot of love. That's kind of the only argument you can make for any of these arms. Some gas cans tonight, though, for sure. This bottom tier is pretty crappy. So if I'm building right now, I'm probably going to – it's tough to want to spend that much on Burns. I get why he's not getting a lot of love. The Dodgers are so good. They're playing for their lives. For, the NL West title, excuse me. Do you like Gallen? it's going to make the expensive offenses hard to get to. We'll see if we have to change that. You know what? I'm just not sure exactly where I want to go yet, so I'm not even going to lock that in. All right, let's talk about offenses. We got the Indians at the Rangers. The Indians were good last night. Wish they were a little bit better, but can't complain. A couple offenses were a little bit better than them, but they were good. Against Jordan Lyles, who's very hit or miss, I think the Indians are right back in play here. You know, they run also, which is a big boost. Jose Ramirez, double digits in 3 of 4. Ahmed Rosario, nice game last night. Like, the whole offense was good. I don't know if Framo Reyes will be. I don't know what the deal is with him right now. We shall see if he's back in the lineup. But Lyle Straw continues to be solid, maybe more solid than the spectacular, but in a stack, I like him. Then you got the really cheap guys, Zimmer, Calhoun, not Calhoun yet, we'll get to him, Zimmer, Harold Ramirez, Bobby Bradley's 3,400. Andres Jimenez is 2,900. The guys were good last night. You know, he stole a bag, got on base a few times. Bobby Bradley homered. I think the Indians are definitely in play here. Like I said, I also think the Lyles is in play as well. I mean, because the Indians are not great and Lyles is cheap enough, but on paper, I think I lean towards the Indian side. You know, if forced to choose, ownership and all that matters, though, for sure. As far as the Rangers go, just a McKenzie on the hill, and then the Indians bullpen. I mean, not an awful spot. I doubt they get much love here. They were also like pretty good last night. Nothing amazing. I don't know, big. I doubt I could get to Texas here. I have enough faith in McKenzie's stuff that I don't really want to stack them here, especially at their price points. Detroit and Chicago. Matt Manning against Lucas Giolito. Chicago coming in as the chalkiest offense on the slate, and I get it. They were very good last night. Abreu looking to get going before the playoffs. Tim Anderson had at least 4 hits last night, 4 hits and a walk, so got on base all 5 times. I'm sure we'll see Moncada back in there. Matt Manning gives up a lot of hard contact. I understand why the White Sox are getting a lot of love here. There's a lot to like about them. Their whole lineup's wildly in play in all formats. I would definitely be looking to get a lot of them in cash games for sure. No thanks on Detroit. If you don't use Giolito, that's enough leverage, I think, right in itself. A's and Astros, this is an interesting one. Both offenses, I think, expensive enough where that kind of cuts into their ownership. But they're not crazy expensive. It's just the pitching's really expensive. You know, I like the Houston stack. Blackburn has not been great by any means. Doesn't miss a lot of bats. You see by the strikeout numbers. That's not a good recipe for success when you're facing this Houston lineup. That's for damn sure. So Houston definitely in play here, no doubt about it. And then Oakland also in play. I'm not really an Odorizzi guy. I don't think that he's great or anything like that. I mean, check the game log. Not that he gives up a ton of power, but both offenses here, I think, are sneaky. Are sneaky, if nothing else, I'll say that. Not in the best spots on the slate, but not in bad spots at all. And both offenses are very good, even though they're not playing for anything. Houston's locked into the playoffs. We'll see what their lineup looks like, and Oakland's out of it. But, that's the case with a lot of these teams tonight. Now we get to a game that's drawing a lot of ownership, Minnesota and KC. KC coming in as the highest owned stack on the slate against Griffin Jackson. I get it. They were very, very good last night. They were all good. Whit Merrifield, Benintendi looks to be finishing the season strong. They're very affordable too. So I get the KC love. I mean, in tournaments, I don't really want to rock with them, but I certainly understand why they're getting love. I mean, even a guy like Carlos Santana is so cheap, and with pitching so expensive on this slate, it's hard to get a lot of the offenses you really want. So I understand KC and cash games. I'd be looking hard at them, and then Minnesota, I guess kind of the same deal. Sano did something last night. 3 hits for Sano. Walks in the 2 games before that. I like Sano a lot here against a lefty. Byron Buxton continues to be really freaking good. Finishing the year on a high note. Jorge Polanco just having a fantastic year. So I like the Twins more than I like the Royals. They're a little bit harder to get to, but they're also better offense. Mets and Braves. Carlos Carrasco against Jesse Chavez and Drew Smyly. I don't know. Neither offense really stands out to me. Carrasco hasn't been great, but he's never a guy I want to pick on. And then Chavez is not great, but he's actually been pretty good for the Braves, and he's not even going to pitch that long. And then you got a lefty coming in. I mean, sure, Pete Alonso, who, 5 for his last 9. Obviously, that's pretty damn good. These guys are too expensive for me, but they're not going to get a ton of ownership. So I don't hate the Mets, and the Braves are not in as good of a spot, but they're a much better offense. So I never hate the Braves. Cardinals and Cubs, Lester against Sampson. So this is one I like a lot. I like the Cardinals quite a bit here. Doesn't look like they're getting a ton of love at all. Looks like the opposite. The Cubs are getting a ton of love. Whoa, Tyler O'Neill, price bump. Yeah. Game last night, 5,700 is quite the price. I understand why they're not getting a ton of love. They're expensive now. Edman, Goldie, O'Neill all over 5K, or not Goldie, Arenado, O'Neill all over 5K. It's weird that Goldie's like the only one not. They still got some cheap guys though. Carlson's cheap, Bader's cheap. So I like the stack. Newbar's cheap, really cheap. His price went down. So yeah, I like the Cardinal stack. And the Cubs look like they're getting too much love. They're another one. They work because of their price points. Lester's not great. He's never a guy I feel like I want to go out of my way to stack against, though. And given these ownerships, I'm certainly not excited about it. If I had to use one guy, though, Ian Happ, finishing the season really, really strongly. Double digits in 3 in a row. Power, speed, upside. Stolen bases in each of his past 3. 2,900. I definitely get Ian Happ, and I understand a bunch of these guys. I mean, Ortega's got double digits in 5 in a row. So, yeah, this whole game's wildly in play for sure. A few games left. We got Colorado and Arizona. Zach Gallen against Antonio Senzatella. I'm not interested in the Rockies against Gallen here. He's good enough, and I like him enough where I'm not interested in picking on him on this particular slate. The Rockies are getting 0 love, so that would be the argument for them. Arizona, on the other hand, getting more love, so that kind of takes me off them. I'd much rather pick on Senzatella than Gallen. Looks like they're getting a little bit too much love, excuse me. Christian Walker, though, looks good recently. I get it. I mean, they're cheap. Varsho is probably their most expensive guy outside of Ketel Marte, who homered last night, I believe. Yes, he did. I'll say this about Arizona. They're probably getting a little more love than they deserve, but as far as raw ownership goes, it's not going to be high at all because you got the Twins, the Royals, the White Sox. So all those teams are going to be much higher owned. And if you like Arizona, do your thing. All right, Brewers and Dodgers. This game's definitely about the pitching for me. I mean, the Dodgers are going to be unowned. So if you want to just kind of hope that the Brewers pull Burns early, which is not crazy in his last start of the year, or that, it's the freaking Dodgers, I get it. I mean, not going to sit here and say, if you're making a single entry lineup, you should stack the Dodgers, but if you're playing enough, I don't hate it at all. And they are going to be unowned. Whenever you can get a team this good at 0 ownership, it makes sense because it's baseball. Things can happen, from injuries to the pitcher not having it that night to whatever it is. So, on paper, they're in a bad spot, but in tournaments, anything goes. And then the Brewers, I'm not really interested in. Good last night. Urias is solid, though. He's better than solid. I'm a big Urias fan. Brewers don't do it for me here. All righty. Last but not least, we have Chris Flexen hosting Jonathan Diaz. And these offenses aren't great. I mean, the Angels certainly are not good at all. Not interested in the Angels. I don't think Flexen's great, but I just couldn't see myself using the Angels here. They're a cheap stack that's not going to get as much love as some of the other ones, and I don't really love the other ones either. So, Jared Walsh instead of one of the Royals guys, sure, I get that. Ohtani's expensive, but he's the only one that's expensive at all. So, yeah, I don't hate that. And then as far as Seattle goes, Diaz was good last time out, but that doesn't mean that he's going to be good tonight. Again, they weren't good yesterday, and I don't think I want to go out of my way to stack Seattle here, but I don't think they're a crazy play either is how I'd put it. Seager, my favorite piece, although he's cold. Still got 35 bombs this year, though. Ty France, we know, is good against lefties. All in all, though, not really a game I'm excited about, especially with like low ownership on teams I like even more, like St. Louis. So that's kind of where I stand today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Last video of the year from MLB. And I'm going to miss it for sure. Appreciate you guys as always. If you want more content or to get in on that NFL goodness, go check out the DFS 5 pack. We'd love to have you.